Woman, hosted by Sola. This is Lauren with Goodness in the Poetry Cut on the Poetry Corner.
How you doing, y'all? Good morning again. Yes, my friends. It's a thankful Thursday, and we're so thankful to have each and every single one of you here with us today. We're even more thankful that we're hoping to get the Muhammads on the line. We know it's early morning, but still hoping for that. Also, did you know the students from the Buffalo Urban League Summer Youth Program actually showed up and showed out in front of GM yesterday? We'll talk a little bit more about that. And of course, while we're on the line for justice, the First Step program has happened, and a man has been released from prison, but there's a fight ahead of him. Right now, here's James Gill with the Law of the Land.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The law of the land for today is September is upon us. A lot of things is going to start going on. People are going to start going back to work. The kids are going to start going back to school. You have to remember that you have to change up your routine. Never leave out of the house at the same time. Never stop at the same store in the morning. Go somewhere else and get your coffee. And when it's time to come home a little later sometimes, or come home a little earlier. Change up your every now and again. Because sit back and ask yourself, you notice things in the morning. You notice different kids sitting on the bus stop. You know that if you leave a couple of minutes early, you're going to be stuck behind a school bus. So you leave a couple of seconds. You notice things. Other people notice things too. And there's a lot of bad people that notice things. So we have to make sure that we do things differently so nothing bad happens to us. That's the law of the land for today.
Whoa. When you talk about heavy, that is truly the law of the land for today. Appreciate it. Maybe you're interested in your pistol permit. Then maybe you're interested in just finding out how to go to the gun range. That is one of the things, or a couple of the things, that James Gill is able to offer you. That's all you have to do is call the law of the land man, James Gill, NRA certified pistol permit instructor. Good morning, Shanabia. Good morning, Godmom. Good morning, everybody who's on live, about to share the YouTube link. And of course, good morning, Goodness. How are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you today? Good morning, Sister Queen. Thank you for asking.
I am well. I know that it's been a very busy season for a lot of people, and we're dwindling down, preparing our mindset. I don't know. Back to school is a big event. I don't know how serious people take it, but back to school is such a big event. And with the highlights that have happened over the summer, I'm hoping that today's conversation, guest or no guest, leads people to understanding exactly what the law of the land just said. And of course, talking about some ways to think about safety that equals to some justice. And that's what I wanted to say. So good morning, Shanavia. Again, good morning, everybody.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. And, let me just talk about the law of the land. It is about to be a really big season with respect to school. And, I just want to ask the people to look out for the little ones. Kids are anxious. Some don't, really have any fear of cars or the streets. So just be mindful of little kids. And like you said, be prepared for the traffic. Because it's going to be heavy. And then right after school starts, the winter months set in. So that's something to be looking forward to. And also with that routine about, checking your surroundings and making sure that, the routine is switched up. Somebody told me a long time ago, and it was a guy. He said, when you think somebody is not watching, somebody is always watching. And, I was a teenager at the time, and believe it or not, it's true. Weak as it sounds, it's true. Somebody's always watching. What's that song, Rockwell? I always feel like
Somebody's watching me. I'm just saying, it's the truth. Someone is always watching you. We live in a world today where you're always being viewed. You're always being looked at. And at the same time, believe it or not, if you're a prayerful person, I think some of the ways that we get out of situations is to remember we're always being watched over. So that is something to think about. You know, goodness, I'm going to try that number again in just a quick second. But could you introduce the theory of why we're saying justice for Muhammad? Can you introduce that this morning at 6:35 to the hour?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the major things that has happened over the summer. You know, where you see all these headlines in the news about the injustice that's going on around America, about the blatant, disregard or disrespect towards women of color, people of color. We had an incident here in Buffalo, New York, in the North Buffalo area, you know, where it was a minor fender bender, and it went wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we really wanted to talk with her to actually get the inside story, not even the inside story, just the accurate story, you know, so that we will be able to present it to the people correctly.
Correct.
This young lady was held at gunpoint. He reached in the car, snatched her keys. I'm not sure if he had her pocketbook, you know, but it was video, it was recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And, I spoke with her, since the incident has happened. And, when you fear for your life like that, you're staring down the barrel of a gun, when you have like racial issues involved with it, being a Muslim woman, being a black Muslim woman, on top of that, and with the state of the country, with the disregards for different religions, different cultures, different colors, skin,
mm-hmm.
You don't think that stuff really reached the backyard. And when it's in your very own backyard and you hit home, we want justice for everyone.
And that's what I think I wanted to title this with.
Please leave your message for 716316228.
There it is. You didn't get that. So we're gonna keep trying. I don't know if we can get in touch with Brother Davi. I will definitely try that on this end, social media wise. The image that I came up with, knowing the family, and I was away at the time that it happened, the image that I came up with when I saw the person is I really thought that the community would be up in arms, because I'm like, wow, this is Brother Davi's wife. This is a militant man who is peaceful, yet militant man in the community who speaks up about injustices of all types. He's always on the scene. You don't have to be Muslim for him to support you, yet the Muslim community definitely respects this man. And what I think I find most interesting about this entire incident is that it's 2019. And we have...
Exactly.
It's 2019, and I don't understand what's going on. Why are we engaging in a fender bender that could be? I mean, I got an insurance guy. If you don't know my insurance guy and you just need an insurance guy, call Victor Johnson, the Facebook insurance guy. I mean, we have people for these type of things, and you don't have to put them into a, what came to mind, like we were in a Western and we don't have laws and it's going to take forever for the sheriff to appear. It's crazy that we're dealing with that in such a time. And that's just one incident that we need to be mindful of over this segment of time that we have in this season in order to get us to the next level. Goodness, while I'm trying to contact the Muhammads, what else can you tell our visitors and our listeners about what has been happening that we need to be mindful of as we go into this school year so that we don't continuously do the same thing?
Well, it's pretty much, like Brother Gill said, you have to switch up your routine. If you're used to doing something one way and you're always, getting the same results or coming up against the same brick wall, try something a little different this year with the kids. Now is the time to start with the going to bed early, getting up early, so that they can start being conditioned to get up in the morning. to face the school day, getting them ready for learning. As a matter of fact, over at the Juneteenth headquarters, they have the Marcus Garvey Back to School Readiness Project, going on. And it's a community type of thing. They're over there teaching math, construction, I believe, poetry, writing, just all type of learning skills to brush up on to get them ready. Because when you think of summer, you want to enjoy your summer. You want to break from the books and the teachers and things like that. And you want to enjoy your vacations with family, seeing different things. So once, it's all coming to what I want to say, it's all winding down now. And it's time to gear up for, back to school. So, everything should be pretty much already taken care of for the most part until the kids get their school list. But you should basically have all the basics.
And a lot of times the school list is online, goodness. For a lot of the schools, you can go online and get the school list. I do suggest you be mindful when you're shopping. I apologize if there's any technical difficulties. We're all right on this end, but you can also pick us up on YouTube, and that's Take a Solar Moment YouTube page if need be. Looking for some thumbs up this morning with that. Justice period is happening. I was going to say mindful of some things as far as school supplies before I even go into justice period. My mindset is totally on justice this morning. You want to make sure not only are you getting the right school supplies, but you're getting an appropriate amount of school supplies. Sometimes I think we overdo it with school supplies, but we're going to have that conversation a little bit closer to school, which is like next week. Goodness, when we think of justice for all, the other thing I thought about when we looked at this issue with justice for Sister Muhammad, and I'm hoping that she is able to join us this morning, but justice for Sister Muhammad also represents justice for women, justice for all cultures, and also making sure that if you see something, say something, because from my understanding, there was a bystander who saw what happened and did not leave Sister Janine standing at all by herself. And that was very important. What kind of neighbor are you? What is your relationship as far as that? I'm going to sip tea. I'm actually drinking tea. I don't know what's going on with me.
It's
Good morning, Doris.
Good morning, Miss Doris over here in Colorado. It's more or less, when you say what kind of neighbor are you, you don't even have to live next door to each other, across the street or down the street. Being neighborly is being friendly. Being neighborly is watching out for, people in your area. They have the neighbor watch, but not only was there somebody, a bystander that was there with her, but also, again, somebody was able to record the incident.
No, that's,
and
somebody's always watching.
Nowadays, with the technology and the video recording of these incidents, people are able to see what actually happened, without somebody having to tell their story and, have to explain what really happened and people not really believing. But I just want to say this.
Go ahead.
Even with the Eric Garner case, they had video footage, and it took 5 years to get this, policeman fired. I mean, they had video. It shouldn't have took that long. Even if there's no video, sometimes they're so quick to settle a case when it comes to a regular Joe, a civilian of any color, any race, any status. So for that to take 5 years, and there was video footage involved, and actually what really happened, it just really makes you wonder. And the type of world that you're living in, you have to stay prayed up. You have to have somebody watching over you, or
you do.
When you say everybody, somebody is watching me.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord is watching everything.
And that's why I said, remember, you're being right. You're being watched over.
Yes.
especially if you have that relationship. And I do, and this is where the part where, because of your understanding of humankind across the whole thing, I wouldn't care if she had on full hijab. I wouldn't care if she was dressed as a civilian, just a Christian woman, whatever that looks like. We're going to talk about some of that situation soon, but I wouldn't, it's not a fact that she was a Muslim woman that she encountered this. I think for me, it was the fact that we're living in a day and age where no one should have the right to engage in such foul behavior and get away with it. First of all, we don't know the outcome totally, but for nothing to happen exactly when the incident went down, knowing that he was armed, whether he was licensed or not, it really wasn't a cause for an endangerment. That's another reason I love the law of the land, because if you don't know the laws of carrying your pistol, you want to find that out, and you want to find out what is causing you to have to pull it out, what is called endangerment, what is called an infraction, what is the justice that is in our world today. We've been talking about Janine Muhammad, who was assaulted, I would say, right here in Buffalo, New York, by a Caucasian gentleman. Unfortunately, Janine is not able to join us this morning. We were hoping to hear from her. So if you're just joining us and you see the comment says, the title says, Justice for Janine, I know for a fact, I keep thinking about a relationship between a man and a woman, a mother and a mother and a child, and having to think about this could have been the incident that mom, wife, grandma, sister, friend may have not made it home. By the grace of God, she made it home and nothing tragic happened. But how often do we see these turn of events lately just not really working out for the good? But in this instance, I feel like the community should stand behind her and fight, because she's still alive and has a voice to fight. We're not fighting for someone who's no longer breathing. We're not fighting for someone who we have to wear our RIP t-shirt for. We're not fighting for someone who we have to go light a visual candle for. We're fighting for someone who still can say, I was served injustice, and I want justice to reign. I was treated unjustly, and I feel like I deserve more. And I just recommend and compliment that. I compliment their efforts, but I recommend you get on board the right way, whatever you can do. Goodness, that's where I am with this.
Sis, and that's why, we really wanted to extend the invitation to Sister Janine to come on. I know she's been on a couple other platforms, but the more you get the story out there, the more viewers and listeners, the more people you can get to rally behind you from wherever, they are in this part of the world, whatever walk of life they're from. And you said it when you said she was assaulted. And that was like physical assault, putting your hands on her, snatching her, keys and things like that, just physically being aggressive. Mm-hmm. And, it was a minor fender bender, but you really consider that, you really can consider that road rage, it's not that.
And a hate crime.
And like you say.
That's a hate crime.
Like you say, they both walked away from the situation. No one was hurt. When you have a fender bender, when you have an accident, and I've been in two of them. When you have accidents, if you're able to walk away, even if you walk away with internal injuries, outer injuries, mental injuries, what have you, you are able to walk away from that situation. And so, being an offender bender should never had, caused that great of aggression for that outcome. And, to my understanding, the guy was impersonating an officer, just all types of things. So if we're living in a day and age where anybody could deputize themselves as a police or as an officer of the law, mm-hmm. or as an authority, authoritative figure, what in the world is really, really going on? This is what it seems like. It seems like everybody is out here deputizing themselves and taking matters into their own hands when things aren't even really that serious. For him to respond the way he did. You have reactions and then you have a response. And those are two different things. The way you react and the way you respond, like I said, are two total different things. And they will give you two different outcomes if you utilize one in the correct form as opposed to the other. And, so like I said, we were hoping to get her on just to spread her message.
Well, this is what I'm going to do.
I'm
going to do this right quick if I can. And I'm glad you were talking. Evangelist asked, does anyone have the tape of it? Well, first and foremost, I am looking. It does sound like a hate crime, and it does. I want to get some of the footage, or should I say the video recording. So give me a second to just pull that up. I can do that so that we can hear some of what is being said by not only Janine, but her family and the community as well. So I'm going to look some of that up. The other part about crimes like this that are happening across our entire country is it is targeted. And last night, one of the things that we went to this event for the young people at the Urban League, and it is on our Take a Solar Moment Facebook page. I taped it, and one of the creations, it was to even though the police were not involved in Janine's issue, it was to lower the engagement between police and the ones that they're arresting. And I thought that was a very smart concept to come up with. It was like a 3-armed thing where the cops the arm reaches out and gives away the actual the license and stuff, so you don't have to be engaged. And it's also voice recognized, so that if they ask us your name is, you can respond by giving them your name as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a small clip of what Brother David has said at a press conference, and therefore you'll be hearing it firsthand on what the Mohammeds had to say.
And people like him, many copycat people across the nation who apparently feel like they can do these kind of heinous crimes and get away with them because the last person got away with it. And so we're calling for the fullest prosecution, the fullest extent to prosecute Jeffrey Calhoun for hate crimes, for assault, for aggravated assault, for robbery. He reached into my wife's car and took the keys out of the ignition, threw her to the ground several times and swept her feet out from underneath her, pulled the gun out, put a gun on her chest. That's the kind of trauma that you don't get over that overnight. And so put a gun on her chest and then waved the gun at a crowd of people who came out in support or to caution him or to try to defuse the situation. Innocent bystanders who came out to tell him that you can't do that to her. You can't throw her to the ground that way. They had a gun waved at them. And so this is a reckless man, a man who is unhinged, and it should not even be a gun owner. And so, how does a man like this get a gun? So
that's just one of the comments from Brother David. Later on in the comments, you can hear.
He said, he gets out of his car and he walks over and he goes, "Mister, you can't be throwing that lady around like that. What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm trying to stop her because she hit my car and I don't want her to run." And at this point, the people across the street are yelling, "What are you doing? Why are you manhandling that lady like that? We got you on film." And so I'm on the ground. I get up, and when I get up this time, he's trying to touch my purse from me, and I go, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to take my purse?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, don't try to take her purse. Who came to introduce?" He said, "Because leave her alone." And he said, "I'm going to take her purse because she's going to run." And he looks at me, the gentleman, and he says, "If he lets you go, will you run?" I said, "Where am I going to go? He has my keys. I'm going to stand right there until the police come." And so at this point, he reaches down, he tries to grab my bag again, and he bites me on the arm. And when he bit me, I did hit him because I wanted him to get off my arm.
You were supposed to hit him.
Right. I'm going to stop it right there. You were supposed to hit him. It's sad when we have to justify defending ourselves. I'm glad that you asked, Evangelist, did we have a recording? I cannot find the recording of when the incident happened because it's so much in her thread right now. Yet this hate crime is something that has stirred up so much. No, that's not it. I can't find, like I said, I wish I could find the one of the incident actually happening, because it was a very sad moment. It really truly was.
You know, sis, I'm gonna just say this. You know, yesterday was Wednesday. It was a Challenger Wednesday. It's always seen for Challenger on a Wednesday. The letter never changes. But you know, when I actually saw this, and you were out of town at the time, and we were on hiatus, you know, and that was a story that really like rocked the community, rocked the city, and you know,
it made national news really because I saw it. I saw it.
And you know, it's really tragic. But what you could do is, for the listeners and the viewers, when I first viewed it, I believe I saw it on Instagram on the Challengers page. But what they can do is, if they want to go to the Challenger, and that's at thechallengernews.com, you can go try to look it up on the Challenger. You can try to look it up on the Buffalo News footage. You may be able to catch it there. I'm not sure, what actual TV stations covered it. It's pretty much probably all of them. I don't know. But, you know, they can actually go there and try to pull up the footage.
Godmom said make him take an AIDS test. He bit her. Who knows what he had? Rabies, AIDS, or something other than a bloodborne disease. Listen. You saying it right.
That's something I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and you're right, Mommy. You're right. And, you know, that's something I wanted to say. Because to my understanding, I was told or informed that he bit her. And like I said, he did have a pocketbook, you know. And I didn't want to put that out there and say the wrong thing. So I'm glad you were able to play the actual footage because he indeed did bite her, you know. And when you have to go that far, she's not an animal. We're people. You don't go around biting people like that. This is a woman, a grown woman. Like I said, when you spoke of Brother David, when you say he was very militant, he's very mild-mannered, cool, calm. Sister Jeannie is so sweet. Her spirit is so sweet. She's so soft-spoken. When you think of altercation, you really wouldn't put her in one of those kind of situations, or you wouldn't think because, she doesn't appear to be confrontational. So he had no reason to approach her in that manner. But when you fear for your life, all that mild-mannered and soft-spoken is out the window. When you're fighting for your life, not fearing for your life, but fighting for your life. 90
I don't know if you guys can see the gentleman. I don't know if you guys can see the gentleman. I have a picture of him. The Atlanta News covered this as well. This is off the Atlanta News. And the police said that right now that's why they're still fighting, because as of right now, the man has not been charged properly for the crimes in which he committed. So that's what the fight is. And that's where it gets very, 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 it gets bad. It gets bad because when you have police that are not saying anything about what's going on, it almost leaves the community to say, wow, you speak up so fast about certain instances, yet you don't speak up fast enough about what is actually going on in the communities right around you. Like, that is something that you should see more than the community standing behind. So you can.
And that's what another thing I wanted to point out. Like I said, the whole city is behind her. Everybody's, all the community are behind her, and I really appreciate the way that when something like this happens to someone, you have a support system, and not only that, and like I said, they're so quick to make an arrest when it's a brown or black or yellow person, but when it's the opposite person, the opposite color, we don't really get that kind of reaction.
No.
And I brought up Eric Garner. They took him down in the chokehold that was banned, for one, and his last statement was, before he took his last breath, was, "I can't breathe," And so, this man was, son of Lucy's, if I'm not, and he didn't have no weapon. I didn't know the Newport 100 was a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So they took him down with excessive force. They took him down with excessive force. But yet, here in Buffalo, you have a man with a gun, impersonating an officer who's not an officer, who has a gun, whether he has a permit to carry or not. And he has no charges. He was not taken down with excessive force. He was not brutally murdered. He was not brutalized at all. But when it's like, on the other foot, you don't even have a chance to be prosecuted, arrested, read your rights, because you're taking your last breath. And, I find this to be, when you say it's just wrong, it's just bad, it's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing.
I found the video. You can find it on Atlanta Black Star. The video is on Atlanta Black Star, which it says most of it was taped, of course, by a bystander. So you can actually go to Black Star, Atlanta Black Star, and you can watch the video yourself. I don't know if I can stomach watching him do that without going back into my old thoughtful ways, and I've been delivered. So it says the devil is raging in them hate crimes. I hope the city of Buffalo speaks up. Back in the day, it be some action going on. Right now, I am happy to say that the community is rallying properly. They're gathering properly, hopefully collecting enough funds to get her the representation that she needs, because we also have to remember this hate crime is not just focused on the gentleman who produced it, but because of the police not charging it accordingly, they still have to go after some aspects of how they approach the police properly. This is not an assumption. This is something that, after listening to the meetings, that I'm pretty sure that has to happen. And of course, the other thing is, for everybody who saw something and said something, man, I'm putting a rubber band on the rubber band ball for all of you, because Sister Janine and anyone else who have ever experienced a hate crime as such, you have something to be thankful for. And that's the fact that you're able to be here, speak up, speak out in the community while we have life.
Yes.
And she's not saying, I can't breathe. She's saying, I'm breathing. Let's fight. Stand behind her. We support her. And that's where we're at right here. Here's some rubber bands for all of you.
And, and it's the Thankful Thursday, since you said it, something to be thankful for. Thankful for another breath, as those are taking their last. Thankful for another breath to, be able to continue to fight and rally and gather behind, this injustice. In 2019, 1619 is when it all began. And as of August 20th, was actually, completed the 400th year, if I'm not mistaken. I had something that I was going to put out stating that, August 20th was, made the 400 years or what have you. But, it's still going on. This is, and I wanted to say this before we part ways, as it is 7:03, at a.m. Marvin Gaye, his music reeks of civil rights, and he had the song that poses the question, what's going on? I'm going to tell you what's going on. What's going on is what's been going on. What's going on is going to continue to go on. And still, I know we were talking the other day about, you can talk about it, but be about it.
Mm-hmm.
Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than verbs. Action speaks louder than words. And that's, pretty much, you have to take action. And when doing so, like you said, do it properly with the proper, law team, with the proper support unit, system. Just make sure when you're doing this, when we're going into this fight with her. And this platform was a way of supporting her, helping her get the story out, informing others who may not have heard of this. She's local, and she's one of our own. And, so we have to, whether it's here in Buffalo or anywhere you can support or make awareness of this injustice, that's doing your part. That's doing your part.
You know what you got me over here thinking?
However you should do.
We are a couple of minutes off, but I'm going to say it like this. With Marvin Gaye playing as an instrumental in the background, basically what we're saying is, while you have breath and you're occupying this land, while you have time, do something to make a difference. Hate crimes exist, but are you a part of it? Are you a healing portion of it? What stance are you going to take in this day and age? She says, I will not spend my money in Cheektowaga to this day. I got abused by 7 policemen in 92, all for seatbelts that I had just got in a car that was at a light. She had just gotten a car. They robbed me of my jewels, my purse, my money, and car. Oh my God.
Wow.
It also says, still have not got it back, but one is wearing a scar today from me. You have to fight back. And that's the other thing we want to tell you. That doesn't mean that you go out there with your fist up, but if you're ever approached and you're ever in a defenseless feeling mode, defend yourself. Put on your full armor spiritually and then get into that naturally. Don't get it twisted. You don't have to stand for injustice with anybody. I'm thankful for it being Thursday. I'm thankful that while we have breath, we have life, we have emotion, we have feeling, we have the use of our limbs and the rightness in our minds, because that don't come very easily nowadays. Use them properly. Use them properly, y'all. I gotta go.
That's one thing. That's one thing that you said right here. Before we part ways, that is something very, very, very valid to be thankful for. That you are in your right mind. And while in your right mind, do the right thing.
Quit playing. It's Thankful Thursday right here on Take a Solar Moment. We want you to get up, get out, get ready for that conversation about the tides, because this thing that took a whole new pimping approach. That's all I can say, goodness. It took a whole new pimping approach. Your conversation online may be next. So watch what you say on social media, because Take a Solar Moment, we might just spill the tea and call you out on it. Be wise, be live, be thankful. Get up, get out, and do what?
Get 'em.
Tomorrow. We promise.